Long time. No see. How have you been? Well, my mom, whom I haven't spoken to in ages, and my husband showed up at my dad's funeral. You sure have some guts showing up here after all that's happened, I remarked sarcastically. She didn't even flinch at my words. Well, it's my husband's funeral, so of course, I'm here. I came for the inheritance, she replied flatly. Her words made me burst out laughing. Sorry, but there's no inheritance for you, I told her. My name's Kate, I'm 32, and I work in an office. I've been married to Jacob for 2 years. We met at work when we were assigned to the same client. The more we saw each other, the closer we became, and eventually, he confessed he had feelings for me. That's when we started dating. At first, I wasn't sure about dating him because he's 6 years younger than me. Are you really sure you want someone like me, an older woman, as your girlfriend? I asked. He looked right into my eyes and said, I don't care about age. I love you. His directness melted my heart, and I found myself falling for him. From there, our relationship blossomed, and he eventually proposed. We went to meet his parents, who were very warm and welcoming. They were as cheerful and positive as Jacob, and I instantly liked them. Then we visited my parents. Oh, he's so young but so polite and pleasant, my parents commented, charmed by him. Jacob, in return, said, your parents are so kind, I really like them. And just like that, we were married without any issues. After marriage, we continued working and shared the household duties. Kate, your cooking is amazing, Jacob often said. Really? That makes me happy. Did your mom teach you to cook? No, I learned it on my own. My mom's not really into cooking. She focuses more on healthy eating, like salads and oils. Really? So, she's a health guru? Well, she used to be a model. Wait, really? Did I not mention that? She was a model from high school until she was about 19. Then, she got pregnant and married my dad. She took a break from modeling, but when I started school, she went back to it and worked for almost a decade. That's amazing. I always thought she was beautiful, but now it makes sense. You should tell her yourself. I'm sure she'd love to hear that. Sounds good. Let's plan a visit to your parents next time. Sure, let's do it on our next day off. Jacob always made an effort to visit my parents, which I truly appreciated. Thanks to him, I got to see them more regularly. Our marriage was good in that sense. Then, something terrible happened. My dad had an accident and became confined to a wheelchair. Kate, could you come over again today? I have a caregiver during the day, but at night, it's tough handling everything by myself. I understand. I'll come after work. I was really worried about my dad, and honestly, I was concerned about leaving my mom, who isn't great at housework, to handle it all alone. So, I told Jacob I'd help after work. To my surprise, he offered to pick me up and go with me to my parents' house. Thanks, Jacob. You're a real lifesaver. Don't worry about it. Your parents need us right now, so we'll be there. At that moment, I felt like my husband was a blessing sent from heaven. Kate, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming, my mom said. Jacob, sorry for the trouble. I apologized. No problem at all. Where's Dad? He's in his room, but I think he'll need the bathroom soon. All right, I'll go check on him. Thank you. If you could help with some heavy things, that'd be great. Since Dad's in the wheelchair, there's no one else to move the heavier stuff. I understand. I'll handle it. Jacob was happy to help my mom with the tasks, and I was so glad he came along. Dad, are you awake? I asked. I heard your voices and woke up, he replied. Do you need to use the restroom? I can help you. Yes, I think I'll take you up on that. Sorry for the trouble. Don't worry about it. I got to go to college because of you. Now it's my turn to help you. Thank you, Kate. After helping my dad, Jacob and I returned home. Once there, Jacob had an idea. Hey, what do you think about us moving in with your parents? What? Honestly, it must be hard for your parents to live alone right now with everything going on. Yeah, but are you okay with that? They're not your parents. After all, won't it be tough on you? Not at all. Your parents are really kind. I'm more than happy to live with them, Jacob said. I felt deeply thankful for his suggestion. Honestly, I had been thinking the same thing. There's a 15-year gap between my parents. Dad, a former CEO, met my mom at a party for the wealthy. He was captivated by her beauty, and that's how their relationship began. They married when mom got pregnant with me. Since mom's not great with housework, my grandmother often came over to help out. I have memories of watching her cook when I was little. Mom always believed that as long as she was beautiful, she didn't need to do anything else, so she rarely did housework. When I went to university, I had to learn to manage on my own. I became capable of cooking and managing house chores, but mom struggled to care for dad on her own. That's why I wanted to be there for him. I've got another reason for wanting us to live with them, Jacob said. What's that? Actually, I'm pregnant. Wait, seriously? Yes, we're going to have a baby. Wow, in that case, it makes even more sense to move in with your parents. I think so too. I'll call my mom right now. After I spoke with my mom, she agreed it would be a huge help. So, Jacob and I moved into my parents' house. I decided to stay home and take care of dad while preparing for the baby's arrival. My mom, though she couldn't cook much, would buy whatever we needed from the store, which was a huge help. Jacob got along great with my parents, chatting with my dad about his health and having fun conversations with my mom. It reassured me that marrying him was the right choice. Jacob, could you come with me to the store? I found some cheaper ingredients at a supermarket a little farther away, so I thought we could go together. Sure, I'll take care of it. Jacob and my mom formed a close bond, often going shopping together on weekends. As my pregnancy progressed, it became harder for me to go out, so I was grateful they handled the shopping. Time passed, and I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Our family celebrated the arrival of our son. Now that we had a son, there was a chance he might take over my dad's company in the future. I looked forward to a more vibrant and joyful life with my family. At least, that's what I thought. But soon, I was faced with an unimaginable situation. It all started the day I decided to take my son shopping for baby items. The store was a bit far, so I decided to go alone instead of explaining my list to Jacob. I didn't want him to get the wrong things, so I asked him to stay with my dad and set off for the store. Around 10 minutes into my drive, it hit me. I had forgotten my wallet. Panicked, I turned the car around and headed back home. As I was about to go upstairs to grab it from my room, I heard a strange sound coming from my mom's room. At that moment, my dad, who uses a wheelchair, stayed on the first floor of our house, while my husband, mom, and I had rooms on the second floor. On that particular day, neither my mom nor my husband was in the living room downstairs. A sense of unease washed over me as I quietly crept toward my mom's room. The sound of creaking and heavy breathing confirmed my suspicions. Without thinking, I began recording on my phone and carefully opened the door. What on earth are you two doing? Both my mom and my husband were caught off guard, naked in bed together. They scrambled to cover themselves. What is this? Are you having an affair? They showed no remorse. Yes, we are, my mom admitted nonchalantly. Jacob prefers me, after all. Sorry, Kate, but your mother's more attractive, my husband added coldly. Excuse me, my husband has a thing for older women now? Was that the case when we were dating too? You never minded the age gap before. Can this ever be forgiven? Well, it is what it is. My mom shrugged. Whether you forgive us or not, we're moving out together. Wait, so you're saying we're getting a divorce? Yeah, that's right. Then I'll get the divorce papers ready. I spoke in an eerily calm tone, trying to keep my emotions in check for the sake of my dad, who needed care, and my newborn son. So, Mom, you're divorcing Dad, right? I'll get the papers for you too. But then my mom said something that caught me off guard. I'm not divorcing your dad. What, you're not divorcing him? No, I'm not divorcing him, but I'm leaving this house. Wait, you're joking, right? I'm serious. I'm staying until I get my fair share of everything here. I won't leave until I secure his inheritance. I was dumbfounded. My mom was holding off on divorcing my dad just to claim his wealth. If they divorced, she would only get a portion. How could you? I asked, fists clenched in anger. I'm just doing what's best for me. I'll get everything I can, then find someone younger and better, she replied, completely indifferent. Jacob, I'm divorcing you no matter what. Sure, but I may refuse depending on what you or your dad agree to with your mom's condition. What do you mean? Kate, you might find a way to make this work. So if we're getting divorced, I want you to promise your mom and dad stay together. You have to be kidding. I can't agree to that. Well, then I won't divorce, and I won't pay child support either. You can't do that. Well, what will you choose? My husband and mom exchanged smug looks. Despite it all, I knew I had to speak to my dad before making any final decisions. I rushed downstairs, and it seemed he had been awake and overheard the entire conversation. Kate, don't worry about me. Go ahead and divorce him. But, Dad, that means you and. Don't worry about me. You need to divorce him, my dad said with steady eyes. He had a plan, I could tell. Taking his words to heart, I agreed to the terms my husband had set for the divorce. My mom and husband laughed mockingly and said, "Let us know when Dad dies, okay?" Before walking out, I was seething with anger, but deep down, I knew my dad was the one who had to bear the greatest pain. I'm sorry, Dad. Jacob's actions are unforgivable. Don't worry about it. They'll face consequences soon enough. At first, I didn't quite understand, but once my dad explained his plan, I realized he had a strategy in mind to ensure my mom and Jacob would pay for their betrayal. From that point on, I focused on moving forward with my life. I hired a caregiver during the day, returned to work, and watched my son grow up healthy. I became better at caring for my dad, and he loved spending time with his grandchild. I hoped my son would one day inherit my dad's kindness. Time passed quickly. 3 years went by in the blink of an eye. Recently, my dad's health deteriorated, and he was hospitalized. Unfortunately, he didn't recover and passed away. I had prepared myself for this, so when the time came, I calmly began organizing his funeral. My dad had been deeply loved, and many attended the service, but among the attendees were the last people I ever expected to see. "Long time no see, how have you been?" I said, stunned to see my mom and ex-husband standing there. "What are you doing here?" I demanded. "I came to fulfill my promise," my mom replied, unapologetically. "They both showed up at my dad's funeral? How dare you?" "Kate, attraction between people is often beyond control," my mom said, shrugging off my anger. "Then why are you here? You could have stayed with him alone." "It's my husband's funeral too. Naturally, I'm here, and I came to claim what's mine. How much am I getting from the inheritance?" I couldn't help but laugh at her audacity. "I'm sorry, but there's no inheritance for you." What do you mean? I'm entitled to a share." "I'm sorry, but my mom and dad are already divorced." "What? I never agreed to a divorce." "Do you remember when you handed my dad divorce papers? He kept them, and after you both left, he filed for divorce. You're no longer married to him, so you don't get any of his inheritance." My mom and ex-husband went pale, realizing the truth. "No, this can't be," they cried. "Now that you understand, please leave. The situation is clear." People who had respected my dad gathered around, condemning my mom and ex-husband. Realizing the severity of the situation, they quickly left the funeral. Reports later revealed that they were living beyond their means, and after draining my mom's savings, they had resorted to taking out loans. When my dad passed away, they had hoped to use his inheritance to pay off their debts, but that hope was crushed. Now, they've vanished, and I've chosen to ignore it. Meanwhile, I stepped into a leadership role at my dad's company years ago and became CEO before his passing. Now, I focus on preserving his legacy while raising my beloved son. I hope one day he'll take over the company, but if he chooses another path, I'll fully support his dreams. For now, I cherish watching him grow and thrive. Narrator's comment: sleeping with your wife's mother? That's as low as it gets. Even if someone has a preference for older partners, that's unforgivable. Kate's mother showed the worst kind of behavior, but it's satisfying to see their actions lead to their downfall. Kate should keep excelling as CEO and enjoy her life with her son. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Stay stunned.